very necessary to accomplish. And, going through the trials and tribulations that I went through growing up in the inner city and falling prey to my environment, I like to break that down a little bit. I mean, pretty much, trying to, be like them old heads, I used to call them. The old heads, coming from a family being adopted as a foster child, being placed in a home with one of the most awesome parents. However, I still fell prey to my environment. I was raised to do the right thing, but doing the right thing was what you call it wasn't hip. You know what I mean? I wanted to do what was hip, and that was basically, do what my peers and I'm doing, which caused me to, fall prey to my environment. So inner city crime, drugs, guns, that things of that nature. I was forced to go to the penitentiary at a young age, and I was fortunate to go over there and go to the penitentiary at an age where they had the Olympics. I don't know if you heard of David Reed. He was very inspiring to me, somebody that pretty much, came from the inner city like me and was able to get the gold medal. And I remember when he made that one punch that changed his life. So, being a young man, it was something that I always wanted to do. I was one of those feisty young guys that I was always in the street fighting, but, never took it to the point where I was going to turn into like a boxer. However, that was a dream of mine, something I did. I was a little older, so having experience now, knowing that promoters don't really want to deal with older fighters. So it was either I was going to have to take it to go the rough way, the muscle, or I was pretty much was going to have to use my skill in another perspective. And being a realist, coming home at the age of 26 from being in the penitentiary at 5 years, becoming state SEI Huntington champion, state correctional institution. I was able to be the best in the state, and that's where they put the roughest, meanest, vicious people in the penitentiary. And for me to accomplish that, to be the number one guy in the penitentiary, so all them vicious, nasty, mean individuals that knew how to fight, that was my competition. And I was able to, elevate my skill. I was able to go with a trainer, which is Rob Nelson, somebody that said to me when my first day in the gym, I was punching on the bag. I was punching on the bag to the point my hands were bleeding because I didn't have hand wraps. I didn't have nothing. It was just open gym, and I knew I wanted to be a boxer, so I decided to hit on the bag. And then this man see me hitting the bag, which was a trainer. And he said to me, what are you doing, young man? I said, I'm boxing. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to test me or something. You coming to ask me questions about what I'm doing? But you testing me or something? I said, I'm boxing, which I didn't know nothing about it. He was a trainer. He said, yeah, well, young man, listen, I understand that, and I like your attitude. He said, however, your hands is your goal. He said, look at your hands, they bleed, man. He said, they bleed. You got to take care of your hands. That ain't how you hit the bag. I said, now we talking. So now you got some information that you're willing to give me. We can converse on that level. Going in the penitentiary, I was told that when somebody that you don't know come to me and ask you some questions, it's game on. You know what I mean? So I pretty much looked at that as if, this was the first individual that seen something in me and decided to train me. And he was one of those trainers where he didn't train a lot of people. I don't know if you know about the penitentiary, but the penitentiary is real geographical. Geographical meaning North Philly is with North Philly, South Philly is with South Philly. So you had a North Philly coach, you had a South Philly coach, you know what I mean? You had a West Philly coach, and I was from Germantown, so which Germantown is considered North Philly. However, I didn't want to go to that coach that had 32 fighters. I went with a coach that was from Harrisburg, which is Robert Nelson, and he said to me, I was 20 years old, he said, I'm saving your life and you don't even know it yet. That was real vital information at a young age. He said, I'm saving your life and you don't even know it yet. And that resonates to me today because I look at where I'm at, man. You know what I mean? this doesn't come by osmosis. This comes through hard work and dedication, man. So I was able to accomplish that. I was able to accomplish that at a young age to become, state champion in the penitentiary. So when I came home, I wanted to pursue my career, and I started training with the greatest. My skill led me to being in the ring with the best in the world. I remember boxing Bernard Hopkins, and that's a level that a lot of people can't say they've been up against.
Hey, Coach, pause right there for a second. D was training, I call him D, my little brother D, but we was working with Danny Davis, and then we had the introduction of Ivan Robinson's coach, Butch. You can talk about, you can talk about Butch. Bernard was training for some upcoming fights. He had moved up. He was in the lightweight division, and we was working with Butch.
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight division. We was working with Butch, so they needed some work from B-Hop. So through Danny Davis and Butch, they saw something. One of Bernard's original trainers, saw something in D. They came to watch him train under Butch, and they thought he would be a good candidate, a good sparring partner for B-Hop. So they wanted some work, and they got some work all right. But at that time, we were going over to Champ's Gym. We hadn't formally got over to Upper Darby. Do you remember that, D?
Yeah, Upper Darby.
Yeah.
Firehouse.
Yeah. So we're training and stuff like that, and then initially we were made a lot of promises, with the Bowie Fisher camp and everybody else. Oh, we want you to train and come in. We're gonna take you here. We're gonna take you there. A lot of this stuff never came to fruition, but B-Hop saw something in UD that he really liked, because I started going down. I'm the body technician, of course. I'm in chiropractic school now. A writer. I have a new book coming up, A Glimpse into Greatness, and this is one of the features from that. But we're going to do it written, and we're going to do it verbally. But I want to showcase David Hamilton, because without D's help and our interaction and going into that environment that we went in, I wouldn't have been afforded some of the opportunities that I was afforded, being exposed to different things. So you got to pay respect. You always got to give back and show love to the people. He was instrumental in that journey, so I cannot exclude my brother in the whole process. I wrote two pilots for called The Nine, The Streets Are Lit. Hopefully G Unit Productions will pick that up. Been talking to their people over there, so we have 2 different pilots with 9 episodes. But getting back to you, Deeb, I just wanted to interject that, because I didn't want you to leave that out. About Butchie. Rest in peace, Butch.
Yeah, rest in peace, Butch.
Rest in peace.
Ivan Robinson, Mighty Mouse trainer.
Yeah.
He's seen something in me as well. These are legendary trainers. Bowie Fisher. I want to give my ups to Bowie as well, because Bowie was one of the ones that told me. He said, Dave. He said, he watched me, spar down at Champ's Gym. He recommended that I go over there and work with B-Hop, which was his trainer, his fighter. So he said to me, I'll never forget this, and this was very, 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 very vital information. And this is stuff that you just can't never, take for granted. He said, Dave, I remember sparring B-Hop, and I didn't do too good. I was pissed because I went from gym to gym beating everybody up. I didn't care who you was, how many fights you had, who your name was, where you came from. You was getting the business, you getting in the ring with me. So when I got to that level of Bernard Hopkins, it mind-boggled me, because, nobody can beat me. That's where my mentality was at. And for him to dust me, and I say dust me because you ain't just hitting on me. I got defense, I keep my hands up, I'm balanced, and this guy, which is Bernard Hopkins, was able to dissect my skill. He was able to watch me spar, dissect what I did, and, get in the ring with the best. He said to me, he said, Dave, he's the best in the world. It don't get no better than that. And that had to register me. I said, the best in the world? He said, Dave, he's the best in the world. So here I am, amateur fighter, in the ring with the best in the world. So now when I sit here and I train my fighters, there's levels.
You wasn't exactly an amateur because you had 3 pro fights at that time.
But that was
it was considered really like low level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude got 50 fights,
Yeah.
40 something fights.
Yeah, yeah.
I got 3 fights, not even 3. I think I was 2-0.
Right,
2-0 at that time.
Right.
And to go in the ring with somebody with that experience, he pushed me to my limit in 1 round. Do you know what that means? Here it is, I'm running miles out every day. I'm training my butt off, beating everybody up, and then I got in the ring with the best in the world, and he took me to my limit in 1 to 2 rounds. I couldn't breathe.
And it wasn't, in my opinion, being an onlooker and being there, it wasn't all physical though. It was psychological. You gave him too much props.
Yes.
And then that's what you realized when you went back to sparring.
Yeah.
You were in awe being in the ring with him.
I just need to clarify something.
Yeah.
That ain't how it always went. You know what I mean? That's how it began.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Because you got to understand that, a part of me was starstruck. I'm in the ring with Bernard Hopkins.
Right.
So my ability, my capabilities, the things that I know that I'm able to do, and pretty much went out the back door based on the fact that I was in there with the best in the world. So I had to go home, dissect what was going on, and I realized what was going on. He smothered me. You follow me? He took away my power. He took away my strengths.
Right.
So I was able to, climb the ladder. I knew what I had to do.
Right.
I had to look and visualize how he got in, how he was able to smother me, and that was something I was able to do, and I was able to do good.
Right.
So good that they requested for me. You follow me? They requested. They said we need him back in the gym, and I'm gonna get direct. I was his sparring partner when he fought Jermaine Teller. If anybody remember, when he fought Jermaine Teller, that's when I became a sparring partner. So he looked at me as, somebody that could help him climb that ladder. And if anybody know Jermaine Teller, he was a horse back in the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Before he got, when he was younger. So it was pretty much giving me an experience, man. So now what I do is I train my fighters, man. It's levels. It's levels, man. I'm thinking I'm the best, and you know what I mean? And I had to realize that, that level is a different level. Being able to take on fresh fighters, you know what I mean, without getting a break.
If I can interject something too. You got to the point where you started beating the shit out of B-Hop. You almost knocked him out, and I said, finish it. I said, finish it. You hit him with that right, and you spun him. And I was like, finish him. So Bernard processed all this, but Bernard would not let you out of the ring until he was able to get the best of you. And you was at a point, you're like, fuck this, I don't need this, I don't want to be here, I don't need that. But, myself, Nazim, and some of the other people said, if you quit now, you'll always regret it. Yes. You can't quit on yourself.
So what I want to do, I'm gonna get into detail. What took place was, I'm a 4-round fighter, so I have my own career. So anything over 4 rounds was not minute.
Right.
When you on that level.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did the first couple times is when I got burnt out and I was tired, I stayed in there. So I'm going 6-7 rounds with somebody on that level, and I'm a 4-round fighter. I'm training for 4 rounds. It's a big difference. So when I went back down there, I gave him my 4 rounds, and I said, I'm getting out this ring. And he was like, no, you can't get out. I said, what do you mean? And then I started telling him, I said, I can barely breathe.
Which he shouldn't have did that, but he did.
I'm no more good
right
in here. I got my own career.
Right. So
I went to get out the ring. Trainer told me, where you going? I said, man, get the fuck off me.
Brother Nazim, rest in peace.
You know what I mean? God bless him, love him to death. I said, get off me, man. I'm getting out. And then he was able to say the reason why you're tired, and he started teaching me. I said, now, if you want to teach me, I'll stay in. But as far as trying to just use me, that ain't going down. And he started explaining and giving me tips on what was burning me out, why I was so tense, I needed to be relaxed, like things that I didn't know and I had to learn. So now when I train, this is the techniques that I teach my fighters. You know what I mean? The things that I was able to do. And I don't want to give out too much information because I don't want nobody stealing my gift. This stuff is worth $1 million. You heard? I'm not going to give it away. But this is an example of what was going on back then.
Right. You want to elaborate a little further?
We on a mission, man. I got a 13-year-old son, one of the best in the country. I got a female fighter right now that's number 2, 3 in the country right now. She has went straight pro, and one of the best female fighters.
Leanna Cruz, right?
Leanna Cruz.
She fights August the 18th on the Zone Network.
Zone. Made it. Listen, no amateur fights. One of the best in the business. And that's through hard work and dedication and perseverance, man. Staying consistent. She came into the gym, said, I want to be a pro fighter. I laughed at her. I said, they all come in here and say that. She stayed consistent. Look at her now. You know what I mean? She's signing deals with Everlast, getting free everything. Like, listen, they don't just do that for anybody.
Well, one of the things that I talked to Dee about years ago, and I said, for whatever reason, being a lightweight contender, you know, a lot of other things, light heavyweight contender, sometimes detours come about. You know, there's certain distractions that come in. I felt oftentimes like sometimes, even though he was dedicated to his craft, that the street, he was already hood rich in a sense. That took away some of your motivation when you first came home, because it's like, and even Brother Nazim said, he said, listen, you're not hungry. You're not as hungry as you should be with your skill set, because you already got the Lexus, you already got the Mercedes truck. Remember, we got the rims and stuff on it. So some of your desire, the zeal that you first had when you first came home, you had lost it because you had gotten comfortable. But like what you said, you touched on it earlier about the levels. You can't fucking play this shit. You can't play. Boxing is not a game. You know that. But, and I said to Dee, I said, listen, all that knowledge, all that anger and all that stuff that you have, pour it into your students. Pour it into your kids, because you're not done yet. He's like, oh, I'm done with this. You know, boom, boom, boom. I said, you're not done, because you still have something to give back. You still got a story to tell. Starting in 2011, you started training over at the 1U Fitness Center, and that's when the Showstoppers was spawned. You know, they did a feature on you and one of the MMA fighters that you was training at the time. So this has been a long time coming. This is not a journey that started yesterday. I'm proud of the fact that you continue to elevate yourself, and you're starting to really pour this knowledge not only into Xavier, but into the general public. So you have a lot of novice fighters, and as we were talking about earlier, in the after-school program, you have other new additions. You know, talk to them about Tank Davis training coming up and their squad coming up here.
Oh, Calvin came through. See what happens? They got a female fighter that's on the undercards of Tank show, all his shows. I think her name is Mia, and she wanted some work, so she came down and got in there with one of my fighters, which is Leanna Cruz. Not only did she come down here and get some work, you know, it was brought to my attention that she got some hell of a work, to the point where as though Calvin heard about it, wanting to see tape on her, and he said, I gotta go down to that gym and see what they got going on down here. So they strapped up, they came down about 9 deep, and you know, it ain't about nothing. This is what we do. We gave them what they was looking for. Not to say that we held our own, man. You know what I mean? Them dudes want to come back because, you know, iron sharpens iron. So he was able to come down here and get, you know what I'm saying, some very, very good work. And it all started with Leanna Cruz. Leanna Cruz was able to jump on you know, she's the best thing they got out there as far as the girl Mia. And she was able to come down here, man. She got touched up, man. She got touched up real heavy. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's just basically the start of it. Once he seen that, he wanted to know what was going on over there. He came deep, and you know, I can honestly say, man, we gave what they was looking for. You know, they got one guy over there named Truck. I give it to him, man. That boy is a monster. Remind me of Tank Davis. But other than that, everybody else, you know, we handle our business, man. You know, and just coming to Lehigh Valley, people not know nothing about it. We coming. That's just how it go, man. Your time will tell.
If you guys are looking for a great training facility. If you're looking for a place where you can get in shape, whether you want to fight or not, Showstoppers Boxing Gym here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, is a place that you may want to be at. There's levels to this, and they don't discriminate. Everybody's accepted here. After school programs, they have open gym hours. Talk to the public about your other services that Showstoppers Boxing Gym offers.
Yeah, we teach people on all levels. You want to come in here and just get in some shape, we teach you. You want to come in here and buckle up, put the boots on, and take it to another level and take it serious, we'll be able to do that as well. We have plenty of coaches. I teach them well. I'm the head coach, so I make sure that everybody's getting polished up the right way. You follow me? And we at 1801 South 12th Street, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come join.
This is just the beginning. Coach Hamilton, David Hamilton, and his staff here at Showstoppers Gym, they have a bright future. There's a lot of things in store for you guys. Come over and check out the place. We're working on a new Facebook page and a new Google page for Showstoppers because they move. If you go on Google, you may see Universal Athletics. That place, that old location is closed. They're at a new location. So give them the new location again, Coach.
1801 South 12th Street. To make a long story short, when you come down South 12th Street, you'll see some yellow school buses. You can't miss it. We in the parking lot right beside them. Park up in that parking lot and come across the street. That's where we at, top floor. 1801 South 12th Street, Allentown, PA 18103.
Anything else you want to leave the public and your followers, Coach Hamilton?
If you have a dream, go for it. When you climb one mountain, it's only the bottom of the next. You got to keep climbing.